katta dekita katita tagena dagat dagat shankara sutta lambodara modaka priya vakratunda takita dekita terikita tag mahakaya terikita dekita jai ganesha dekita tagena da terikita dekita jai ganesha dekita tagena da terikita dekita jai ganesha dekita tagena da. Kathak din, Kathak din, Kathak din, Tagadiga diga tagita digita Kathak tagita Kathak tagita Kathak tagita Tagadiga diga tagita datita 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 dadatita kardatita datita dagi digina tuntun naga naga tuna karda tagina naga gendada anada adenta karda genta kata gegeta 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 kata gegeta 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 kata gegeta 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 Kathak din Kathak din Kathak din takita dekita da dega dega taga taga dega dega takita dekita da dega dega taga taga dega dega takita dekita da dega dega taga taga dega dega takita dekita da kataka taga takita kataka taga taga takita den kataka taga takita kataka taga taga takita den kataka taga taga takita taga taga takita taga taga takita kataka taga takita kataka taga taga takita den katakita den kataka taga taga takita den katakita den kataka taga taga takita den katakita den kataka taga taga takita den kataka taga taga takita den katakita den kataka taga taga takita taga taga takita taga taga takita katakita da kataka taga takita taga taga takita taga taga takita katakita da kataka taga taga takita kataka taga taga takita takita da den kataka den kataka den kataka den. Such a blissful and beautiful experience. These utterances, not meaningless, but they are abstract, symbolic, mystical, and bring a new life to this world of sounds. This is my world of dance. Exploration of space and time. When I say exploration of space, it could be through movement in this three-dimensional space. Whenever I'm rendering a movement, probably I am tracing a motif, a design in this space. But there is one more area of exploration which remains unseen, the design unseen, that is time. The space of time. For me as a dancer, this journey is about exploration of how time can be envisioned and how we can draw ideas from space, from different happenings, incidences, and different observations in life. It all begins with this idea of pulse, of beat, of breath. And then we move on to looking at nature. And we see that everything that is born grows gradually, is perishable, is recycled. So with this idea of exploration of temporal space, there are two important ideas that immediately come in our mind. One is a point, a dot, and there are such dots that can form a line or can form a cycle. And in dance, our ancient seers came up with two beautiful ideas revolving around this kind of revolution. It was the matra, which is just the dot, just one beat, one breath, one pulse, the matra. And then you have the laya, the pace with which time flows. It could be slow, it could be little fast, it could be very fast, or it may vary. That is laya. And then taal, a time cycle, a cycle which gets repeated over and over again but travels in time, linearly also. This reminds me of the cosmic phenomenon, of the planetary motion, of everything that exists in this universe. Everything seems to come back, seems to recur. And this is where the idea of taal comes into being. And it's not just aligning to the matras, but over here, I'm also looking at the mathematical possibilities, looking at how each matra, each cycle can now create innumerable designs through syllables, utterance of syllable or rendition of syllable, through a dance movement, through singing, or through rendering through an instrument. And these can have a variety of tonal flavors. Let me look at this cycle. Dha, dhin, dhin, dha, dha, dhin, dhin, dha. Now I have predetermined a pace and I am looking at possibilities as to how I can explore various ideas, various permutations, combinations, and mathematical concepts with this given time cycle. One could be going layer by layer, which is kramalaya. So layering could be, if I take dha, dhin, dhin, dha, dha, dhin, dhin, dha, I can go dha, dhin, dhin, dha, 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 dha, dhin, dha, dhin, dhin, dha, dha, dhin, dhin, dha, dha, dhin, dhin, dha, dha, dhin, dhin, dha. These are multiples, multiple of 2, multiple of 3, 4, 5, and so on. But my only reference is my own mind. In my mind, I am first predetermining a temporal space, an interval, and then I'm looking at the calculations. So I'm looking at various multiples, and now I look at clusters. With every time interval being a canvas for me, I look at possibilities of clusters, clusters of 3, clusters of 4, of 5, of 6, and so on. And each cluster brings a visual image for me. A cluster of 3 looks like a triangle, a cluster of 4 like a square, could be a quadrilateral, could be a rectangle, depending on how I've arranged it. A cluster of 5, which can be more intense, more asymmetrical, more edgy. And so these numbers and calculations around these numbers help me bring out a particular bhaava, a particular idea. For example, if I want to showcase the dance of Shiva, I may choose the number 5, a cluster of 5, and I may do taka takita, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, tho, de, taka de, na, de, tin, taka de, na, da, tatinda, taka de, na, da, tatinda, taka de, na, da, and so on. With having been equipped with this kind of imageries and ideas and possibilities, now my journey as a dancer begins towards experimenting or experiencing the sacred utterances and creation of sacred geometry, not just in the three-dimensional space, but in the temporal space. So for me, every akshara, every dot, every sound is like a color, like a shade, like a point with a specific identity. And this is how there are innumerable ideas that keep revolving around my canvas of time, around my canvas of avartana. Now, looking at a time cycle and looking at the possibilities of arranging all these together. So I may, if I choose a rhythmic cycle of 4 matras, 1, 2, 3, 4, ghege, 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 ghe ghe, terikita ta, terikita ta, terikita ta, terikita ta, tin, 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 na na tit, tin. That was an improvisational piece. So this simply helps me explore a mathematical pattern intuitively. Since I'm now, through years of learning, I'm familiar with different ideas that could be translated through utterances and through incorporating these abstract representative syllables, which are not meaningless, but yes, they have connotations. They have some connection with some kind of thought and idea. Looking at nature, chirping of bird, cuckoo, cuckoo. Or during the rainy season, you have the frogs excited about the rainy season. Thar, 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 thar. Jijikit, 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 jijikit. Dhalang, dhalang, dhalang. A leap of a lion. Inspired by the biodiversity, an artist not just creates monotonous patterns, mathematical calculations in the temporal space, but also looks at creating a biodiversity, creating a space where there is symbiosis between nature and human emotions. So I look at some of the compositions from that perspective. We have a timeless piece in Kathak tradition. Taganaga tharri kukku, tagataka janaga janaka tagadha, jijikita dilang, dumkita tagadata da, dumkita tagadata da, dumkita tagadata da, tharikita takadilang, dumkita takada, tharikita takadilang, dumkita takada, tharikita takadilang, dumkita takada. And many more that bring before us not just the design, not just the pattern, but the ancient wisdom of making it sound like a poetry, look like a journey of symbols, of moral preachings, of awareness, of awakening, and of revelations. Looking at calculations, the first and foremost idea that remains one of the most interesting, intriguing aspect in an artist's journey is the tihai. A composition that is repeated thrice and which has to be identical and should converge on the first beat of the taal. This is where the mathematical challenges are laid for an artist. For time cycle, which is not a multiple of 3, for odd time cycles, where you may find it very difficult to equally arrange a particular rhythmic pattern and repeat it thrice with the condition that it should converge on the first beat. Now this is where there are so many areas of observing the finer fractions of every beat, of every matra. And I am truly bewildered and inspired to realize that there have been so many ways of looking at the same time cycle, the same time interval through clusters of 3, clusters of 4, 5 and so on. And so there are innumerable possibilities of creating tihais. Each tihai remains unique, a challenge with respect to design, with respect to calculation, and with respect to the accuracy of its rendition. Now I look at the tihai as an equilateral triangle, and when we look at the time canvas, and if I refer to a time cycle of, let's say, 8 matras or so, and if I see that there are 8 dots being repeated again and again, and each time I am able to look at a particular set of beats that could be decorated and that could be embellished in a particular manner. If I take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, tagadigadha, tagadigadha, tagadigadha. 3, 4, tagita tagatimi, tagita tagadimi, tagita tagadimi, tagita tagadimi, dha. 2, 3, 4, tagadiga, tagadiga, tagita, tagatagita, tagita, tagatagita, tagita, tada, dha. And so on. So each time you would see that there are new designs, new motifs being created along the temporal canvas. And this is how an artist works with the temporal space, arranging mathematically various patterns. Those could be clusters of 7, 9, or could be fractions, 9.5, 10.5, and so on. And ultimately, it has to all merge into the sum, into the first beat. That remains the challenge. So, looking at the endless possibilities of the compositions of the mathematical journey, I look at today's times when mathematics is separated from arts education. And that is when I realized that it is so important for any student, any learner to learn both dance and mathematics, and look at the possibilities of enrichment, look at the possibilities of the biodiversity, look at the possibilities of how everything can be combined, how everything can be harmonized, and how dance is not just a visual retreat, but it is a celebration of space and time. It is a celebration of intellect. It is a celebration of the biggest gift that a human being has. And it is also glorification of human endeavor. So I conclude with a small padhant. Dha, dinna, na, di, na, na, ti, na, di, di. Tagita, 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 tagadiga, 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 tagita, 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 da. Tagadiga, 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 tagita, 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 da. Tagadiga, 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 tagita, 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 da.